What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Today's video, we're looking at composite functions. So I'm going to show you guys how to solve them, and also I'm going to show you guys how to combine them in a very easy process. Let's get started for today. Starting off this first part of the video, guys, we have to understand notation. So when we look at this first one, right, we have f of g of x and f of g. These are saying the same exact thing. And what are they saying? We're going to take g of x, right? This is the inside function, and we're going to plug it into the outside function, which is f. These two things are saying the same exact thing. Now, when we go down to g of f of x and g of f of x again here, now f is the inside function, and we're going to plug it inside of g. And typically, right, when we do that, let's say they asked us to find f of 3. All we're going to do when regularly evaluating is take that function. We know f of x is equal to x squared plus 1. And we're going to substitute. So now x becomes 3. And now we know that when x is 3, our answer is going to be 10. So this is just the basics of composite functions, evaluating functions. Now in the next part of this video, we're actually going to combine these functions and see how to properly do it. Now, guys, as we move over to the actual composite functions, number one is asking us to combine these functions. So they didn't give us an actual value for x. They're just saying, hey, once we combine these two functions, what should our answer be? What is f of g of x when we combine them? And what we're going to do, right? So we know f of x is x squared plus 1. To properly do this, we're going to take the entire g of x function, right? Which is this, 2x plus 5, and we're going to go to the f of x function and plug it in for x. So once I solve this now, right, same notation stays the same. Now we're saying, hey, instead of x squared, I'm going to put in 2x plus 5, close my parentheses, right, because that's the whole thing. I'm going to make sure I have that exponent, square, and then that plus 1 on the outside. So now what we do, guys, is we're going to expand this binomial, right? And FOIL. And then after we FOIL, we're going to now add that outside number. So my answer should be 4x squared plus 10x plus another 10x plus 25. And then we bring down the 1. Now as we combine our answer, my final answer should be this. F of g of x is equal to 4x to the second power plus 20x plus 26. And if you notice, guys, all we did was we took that g function, 2x plus 5, plugged it in for x, we squared it, and add 1 like it told us. So now let's say if we flipped it around and we say, hey, let's find g of f of x. What I want you guys to know is we're not going to have the same answer. It's going to be different. Same process, but different. So what does Mr. Peters mean? I got you. So we know that this g function, right, is 2x plus 5. And they're telling us to plug the f of x function in. So now, once I do this, right, I write the notation. And now I have 2 times x. But remember, we replaced the x with the f function. So now we're going to have x squared plus 1, close it. And then now at the end, we're going to have plus 5. I really hope you guys are able to see this. I know you guys have commented about the far end of the board. We're working on it, but hopefully y'all see. All right, so now we go through, right? We're going to get g of f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 2 plus 5. Once we combine our like terms, we're going to get 2x squared plus 7 as our final answer. So never think that just because you switch the notation around, we're going to get the correct answer. And now in the last part of the video, we're going to do the same exact thing, but now they have given us a number value to actually evaluate the functions. In the last part of this video, guys, we're now going to get a number value for the composite functions. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. So the easier way is we can evaluate them separately. What does Mr. Peters mean? So it's telling us that we're going to find g of f of 2. So that means we're going to take this inside function, right? And we're going to plug 2 in for it. And once I do that, my answer for g of f of 2 is going to be 5, right? When we plug 2 into this, we get 5 as an answer. Now, for us to completely solve this, we take the answer from the inside function, right? This is the answer, and now we plug it into the x for the outside function. So now we're going to g. So now we say, hey, g of 5 is equal to 2 times 5 plus 5. And once we simplify this, this is going to give me 15. So I know g of f of 2, ran out of space there, guys, sorry. This is equal to 15. Now, the reason why I think this topic sometimes is complicated depends on the way that your teacher shows you. So typically, what I've noticed is teachers will like to do this, right? Let's say we do the same problem, g of f of 2. So what they do is they take the entire thing, right? And I'm just writing it like this, guys, so that you understand these are the same things, so you won't get tricked when they switch from one format to the other. And I'm sorry, I didn't put 2. That was my only mistake. All right. So we have 2. So what we can do is we could write the whole thing, right? So we know the outside function starts off with 2, and then we replace the x, right? We're going to replace the x with x squared plus 1, but they told us x is 2. So now we put this function inside the parentheses, right? 2 squared plus 1, close the parentheses, and then we finish writing the whole entire function. So from here, we evaluate. 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So we have 2 inside the parentheses 5. We have that 5 on the outside, we just bring it down. And now what we notice is we have 10 plus 5, and now we get the same exact answer of 15. But before we go, I want you guys to pause the video, right? We're gonna look at one more problem, and I want you guys to practice and try it on your own, and then finish watching the rest of this video to make sure that we're on the same page. Hopefully you made it to the last part of this video, guys, and understand this is a bonus section. Anytime there's some extra work and we say to pause the video, just try it to make sure that you really understood the lesson. So now we're going to find f of g of -2, right? And I switched up the functions for practice. And yes, we have a trinomial. So I'm gonna solve it my favorite way. When you pause the video, do what works best for you. So we have g of -2, right? So g of -2 is equal to -2 squared minus -2 plus 1. Don't fall for this. They always try to do that, right? They always try to give you a negative number when you're subtracting. So now this is equal to +4 plus 4 plus 1, right? So as a result, now what we're gonna get, oops, what am I doing? This is 2. So sorry, guys. So as a result, now we're gonna get +7. You guys know after we plug in, when we talk about composite functions, after we get the inside function, the output, we're now gonna take that, plug it into the outside function. So now I'm gonna do f of 7, which is equal to 2 times x, and now my x is 7, so I know f of 7 is going to be equal to 14. If you want to write both the functions and put one inside the other, that's fine. Do what works best for you. And like I said, really hope this video is helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave comments for future videos you guys would like to see on our channel, or if you guys had questions on today's video. Thank you so much for joining.